Tip number 1 to start making excellent curveball throws. Understand what makes up a curveball throw. In this case, what I like to call the curveball framework. So there are 3 parts that make up the framework. And if you can understand and manipulate all 3 parts, then you can adjust your throw with each throw that you do in order to strive for making excellent throws. So the 3 things that make up the curveball framework are the target circle, the throw angle, and the throw strength. Let's talk about each one in more detail. So the target circle is a circle that goes from large to small repeatedly until you throw the ball. And the goal with the target circle is to land your Pokeball inside of the circle. So the larger the circle, the easier it is to land your Pokeball inside the circle, and the smaller the circle is, the more challenging it is to land your Pokeball inside of it. The more challenging it is, the more you're rewarded with more XP and getting that excellent throw. Eventually, your goal is to land your Pokeball inside the smaller size target circle. So the target circle size can be a different size for each and every Pokemon. So just keep in mind that the bigger the Pokemon is, the larger the target circle will be, and the smaller and tinier the Pokemon is, the smaller the target circle would be. The next part that makes up the curveball framework is the throw angle. So this part is about where your finger is on the screen and where your starting point is, and how you release the ball to the side in order to make that curveball throw. Now with the throw angle, imagine there's an x-axis line across the target circle. Depending on the angle of your throw will determine where your Pokeball will land on that x-axis. So when you release the Pokeball and your angle is a little bit wide, it will most likely land on the right side of the x-axis. If you release the ball at a more narrow angle, then it most likely will hit on the left side of the x-axis. So observing where the Pokeball lands on the x-axis, imagining there's an x-axis across the target circle, will determine how you're going to adjust your next throw in order to strive to hit in the center. And then the last part that makes it the curveball framework is the throw strength. So imagine there was a strength meter in your hand, kind of similar to those in the pinball machines. Now if the throw angle determines where the Pokeball will land on the x-axis, then think of the throw strength as where the Pokeball will land on the y-axis of the target circle. The distance of the Pokemon away from you is a huge factor to consider when you're trying to determine your throw strength. If a Pokemon is closer to you, like Rattata or Pidgey, then your throw strength will be a little bit more gentler, a little bit more lighter. If it's something far away, like a Zubat or a Trubbish, then you want to exert a lot more throw strength when you make your curveball throw to reach that target. And then there are Pokemon in between, not too far, not too close, in the middle, like a Grimer. And then your throw won't have to be a strong one or a gentle one, it'll just be something in between. So to recap and review, we have the target circle, which is the thing you're trying to land your Pokeball inside of. We have the throw angle, which determines where the Pokeball will land on the x-axis of the target circle. And then we have the throw strength, which determines where the Pokeball will land on the y-axis of the target circle. So knowing all 3 parts and knowing how to manipulate each part will allow you to adjust your throws in order to strive for making excellent throws. Now we can talk about the other tips that build on that curveball framework. So the second tip is to experiment with your throw style. So everyone has a different throw style. You could be using your right hand, you could be using your left hand, you could be used to throwing clockwise, or you could be used to throwing counterclockwise. So you might find that you were okay with clockwise throws before, but then you switched to counterclockwise throws, and now you're doing a lot better landing throws inside the circle. So just experiment and play around with different throw styles, with different angles, and with different throw strength to kind of see what works best for you, so you can just stick with one and then you can move on to practicing more. Tip number 3 is to identify the size and distance of a Pokemon each time you encounter one. It will also help to observe its attack animation as well. Answer the questions, is it big, is it small? And this will answer the question how big the target circle is. Is the Pokemon far away from you? Is it medium distance away, or is it really close to you? This will answer the question of how your throw strength will be. And if you're observing the attack animation, answer the question at what point should you release the Pokeball to make the curveball throw so it lands on the Pokeball as the attack animation ends. This will be helpful in a method that I'm going to cover really briefly in the next part. So moving on to the next tip, tip number 4, master your way up from nice throw to great throw and then finally to excellent throw. Basically start small and then work your way up. So there are 2 methods I would recommend that you master with each throw. So the first method is setting the target circle and then waiting for the attack animation in order to time your curveball throw. Like I mentioned before, you should try this method trying to strive for nice throws, then great throws, and then eventually to excellent throws. If you don't know how to set the target circle, that's okay, because it's really easy. All you have to do is hold down your finger so the circle goes from big to small, and then once you identify the size of the circle that you want, you just lift up your finger like that. Once you lift up that finger, that means that target circle is set. Then you wait for the attack animation. So remember everything I said about observing the attack animation and releasing the Pokeball at the right time? Apply those concepts to here as well. So once you set the target circle, wait for the attack animation. Once the attack animation starts, then start prepping and spinning the Pokeball. Towards the end of the attack animation, while it's still happening, time it so that when you release the Pokeball to make the curveball throw, when the attack animation ends, that Pokeball will land inside of the target circle that you just set. And this is how you execute this first method. You set the target circle, you wait for the attack animation, you spin the ball while the attack animation starts, and then towards the end of the attack animation, you time it so that when you throw the curveball throw, it will land just as the attack animation ends and inside of the target circle that you just set. This is a great method for legendary Pokemon. Now the second method is a little bit more advanced, but you can definitely work your way to it. Now this is basically the first method, except a lot quicker. Instead of setting the target circle and waiting for the attack animation, this method depends on you timing your throws in real time as the target circle goes from big to small. This method is more useful when you're catching wild Pokemon during an event like Community Day or Spotlight Hour. This also pairs very well if you're doing the fast catch method. If you don't know how to do the fast catch method, I do have a video about that. If you're interested in learning how to fast catch, you can go to that video after this video. So now you have the overview of both of those methods. You can work on each one of them to perfect nice throws, to perfect great throws, and then eventually work your way to excellent throws. As you practice and master those methods and nice throws and great throws, you'll develop more muscle memory and your timing will get better. Moving on to the next tip, tip number 5. Make sure you always keep in mind what you can do better with your throws next time. So always think about what you're going to adjust or correct the next time you throw so that you can aim your Pokeball to land in the center. Everything I mentioned about the Curveball Framework applies to this tip the most. Observe and make mental notes of where your Pokeball is landing each time you make a throw. If your Pokeball landed a little bit to the left of the center, then perhaps your next throw angle should be a little bit more wider so it lands a little bit more to the right. If your Pokeball landed a little bit to the right of the center, then perhaps your next throw angle should be a little bit more narrow so it lands a little bit to the left. If your Pokeball lands on top of the target circle or on top of the Pokemon, then try to reduce your throw strength a little bit. And then my last final tip is to practice, practice, practice. The biggest free-to-play mechanic of Pokemon Go is catching Pokemon. Tap on every Pokemon and catch every Pokemon that you see. You have the Curveball Framework in mind, so you know how to adjust your throws with each Pokemon that you try to catch. As you practice more with each Pokemon, you'll become more familiar with each Pokemon's size and distance, and then you'll know how to adjust your throws for each one of them to strive for excellent throws. Try to take advantage of events like Community Day and also Spotlight Hour, where it's just focusing on one featured Pokemon. In the beginning of those events, as you're catching the same Pokemon over and over again, you'll identify your throw strength and also the throw angle you should be striving for. Here's some additional questions that some of you may ask. What if a Pokemon likes to move up and down or side to side? Okay, so my number one tip for dealing with these Pokemon that move all over the place like Magnemite or Zubat is to just use a Nanab Berry. Use a Nanab Berry to keep the Pokemon still and in the center so you can strive for that curveball throw. Now for Pokemon that move to the side and stay there for a while, it is possible to get an excellent throw for those position Pokemon, but it is a little bit more difficult since you need to consider clockwise throw or counterclockwise throw. What if a Pokemon is really far away? Okay, so if a Pokemon is really far away and you're struggling to land curveball throws on it, then just go for a straight ball throw and just don't even care about excellent throws. There's not a lot of Pokemon that are really far away, so if you find that you can't do a curveball throw for those Pokemon, then it's okay to use a straight ball throw. Straight ball throws, you probably will not get an excellent throw because those are difficult to land with a straight ball throw. It's too difficult, why should I bother? Okay, so maybe you tried and maybe this video or this framework didn't really work out for you. Okay, so if you're trying and you're still struggling, that's okay. If you're trying to land excellent curveball throws and you're finding that you're not having fun, then it's okay to stop. You can just keep striving for nice throws or great throws. But if you're able to and you find fun in the struggle trying to land those excellent curveball throws, then I would encourage you to keep going. Landing an excellent throw will give you 1000 XP versus the 100 or 200 XP that you get from landing a nice throw or a great throw. In addition to more XP, it also boosts your chance of catching that Pokemon. As long as you're having fun, keep trying, keep practicing, and don't give up. I believe and have faith in you that you'll eventually land excellent curveball throws. If you're interested in observing how I do excellent throws and hearing my mindset and approach, then you can attend one of my live streams in the future. I did a live stream recently that shows off a lot of excellent throws during the Friendship Day event. In the future, I'll most likely have more live streams when I'm interacting and trying to land excellent throws on the Pokemon that I catch. You can think of upcoming live streams from me as excellent throw workshops. So some closing reminders, I do have a survey in the description that gives you the opportunity to let me know what kind of Pokemon Go topics you're interested in seeing videos about, and to give you the opportunity to give your trainer code as well. As always, let me know if you have any Pokemon Go questions in the comments below, and I'll reply as fast as I can. Thank you to my subscribers, and thank you to those who recently subscribed. Thanks for engaging with my videos and staying subscribed to me. If you're not subscribed yet, I hope you got value out of this video, and if you did, please consider subscribing and liking the video. Thanks for tuning in, I'll see you guys in the next video.